economic zone ecosystem is in our overall, scheme of things. The single most pressing matter in this continent and in Kenya is how to create jobs. And it has been at the center of the drive we have in our bottom-up economic transformation agenda. From housing, which today has created close to 320,000 jobs, to the digital jobs ecosystem that we are working on, spreading the fiber optic network around Kenya, making sure that we have G2 centers, which are ICT hubs. So far in that space, including our BPO ecosystem in Kenya, we have close to 180,000 jobs created over the last 3 years. On to what we call labor mobility, structured labor mobility using bilateral labor agreements, making sure that we know if Kenyans are going to work abroad, where are they working, what kind of salaries are they earning, what kind of work environment are they working in, and if they are in trouble, how do we get back home? And then, of course, it comes down to our special economic zones program. The reason why initially we put our own money, apart from assigning and delineating areas for special economic zones, we put in the first 3 billion shillings to do the very basic infrastructure, which has been done. I think most of it is on its final stages. Then, earlier in my term, I decided that the government of Kenya was going to increase its shareholding in AfriExim. And it was deliberate, because we needed an institution with a financial muscle that we can leverage on to be able to invest in this space. And I must congratulate AfriExim Bank with their partners, Arise, that they have come through for Kenya. We invested $50 million. They gave us a $3 billion facility to be able to run our program.
That's a great investment.
And you can see it in action. When we came for this meeting last year with the governor of this county, Governor Mungaro, when we came here with Moria there, and we said we are going to move things in this direction, many people did not believe us. They thought it was the usual talk. Today, we have come here, already Arise, have put machines on the ground. We've launched the first phase. You've had Orama announce here that they have already made available $500 million, which is 65 billion shillings, to put the infrastructure here in Vipingo Special Economic Zone, infrastructure in Dongokundu, and infrastructure in Naivasha. All that space is going to create new opportunities. It's going to create new opportunities for jobs, for adding value to our products, and for making Kenya a net exporter of finished products, and we begin to reduce our imports. And that is the trajectory we are looking at. You have asked me a specific question. What is it that we are doing as government to make sure that we are predictable? That it is not going to be a game of guesswork by the investors who are here. And I want to tell the investors who are here, we made a deliberate decision. The reason why we are setting up special economic zones is because we have legislation that protects investors that come into these special economic zones. We have made a determination that we will have a 5-year cycle of policy so that at the very least, you know that as you invest in this space, you have 5 years before there is any discussion on change of any policy in this ecosystem. And number two, we have also made policy decisions, including reducing some of the taxes of some of the materials that will be required for manufacturing. For example, we have removed duties on imports of paper that will be used for manufacturing of tea products, coffee products, export products. We are looking at economic zone even as we work on setting it up. We have also looked at how are we going to have energy security. We are having a conversation as Kenyans that the 2,300 megawatts is not anything we can even tell anybody. We are having a robust conversation now how we are going to have 10,000 megawatts at the very least, so that our investors in our special economic zones and in other parts of our economy know that there is energy security and predictability. We are looking at deploying infrastructure. As Arise is putting up infrastructure in Vipingo Special Economic Zone, the government of Kenya is dualing the road from Mombasa coming this way. As you can see, there is already a lot of work in that direction so that we can provide easier mobility in that space. We're looking at how to extend the railway to Uganda. We're looking at how to do more roads, provide more in terms of water, make sure that other utilities are readily available. We are also reorganizing Kenya Power to make sure that it becomes much more efficient. We've brought in private sector into that space. And we are now having a conversation as Kenyans how, as industrialists come into Kenya, we can de-risk some of their investments. Like, for example, Gagan is asking us that as he puts this huge facility here that is going to employ 30,000 Kenyans, he wants Kenyan investors, Kenyan private sector people, Kenya government to be part of that investment. And I have undertaken to him that the government of Kenya, with our agencies, and we are going to encourage some of our companies, some of our pensions with patient money to be able to invest so that together Gagan and all the other industrialists who are coming here will know that we are not telling them to go where we don't want to go ourselves. We want to make sure that, as Orama said, they are helping us as a continent to inform the rest of the world that Afrexim is willing to put in their money. So those industrialists coming from outside Africa should invest. We are saying here in Kenya, we are putting our own money into the industrial opportunities we have, so that even as others put in their money, they can see our skin in the game. And therefore, then they can have the confidence that the government of Kenya and the people of Kenya and the private sector in Kenya is also part of this, this program. So, to answer your question directly, is that we have a predictable policy space backed by the law. Number two, we are ourselves investing in that space so that we are not leaving our investors alone, and we will then be as concerned as they are if there are any policy changes to be made, because in that process, if it is going to affect them, then it is going to affect us. And therefore, we will be a lot more careful in how that space changes. And finally, is to tell the investors that are here, and I know many others that are listening to us elsewhere, that this is a space that you can be sure of. We are not in this for the short term. We are not in this out of a product of guesswork. we are on this as a plan. And with partners like AfriExim and good friends like Arise, I think we have partners that have a proven track record, and therefore you should have confidence that we are going forward together.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. You provided me with the transition to ask a question to Professor Orama. What is AfriExim Bank's skin in the game as well from an equity perspective, mobilizing equity? The government has skin in the game from infrastructure, policy stability, but investments and convincing other Kenyan institutions to also invest. How can AfriExim Bank push to that direction, but also organize